Moving on to another possible playoff matchup, this time in the NFC. Oh, goodness, NFC. We have the Seattle Seahawks heading to Carolina to face the surprising Carolina Panthers. The Seahawks are going to be 7-point favorites on the road. 42.5 is your over-under. Money line side of things, Seattle is minus 340 and Carolina is plus 270. Raider Jim, your thoughts, Seattle at Carolina.
Yeah, I appreciate what Carolina has done, and I appreciate that they are staying there, holding the fort and maybe coming down to a head-to-head game against Tampa Bay the last week of the season to see who's going to be number one in their division. However, they're coming up against a dynamic team. Seattle's going to be able to run against the Carolina Panthers, and that's going to be key, because if they establish even just a moderate running game, moderate success, they're going to open up play action passing scenarios, and that bodes very not good for the Carolina Panthers, because man-to-man coverage isn't their thing. And then Seattle's just going to start picking at will, and they're just going to put holes all over the secondary of the Carolina Panthers. Seattle wins. I think if they win this one, they get top seed, and they're going to be playing for the 49ers for top seed.
Yeah, it'll be winner
it'll
take
be one or the other. Correct. Yeah. So I think Seattle's going to go out. I think they're going to play like everything. It means everything to them. Do they cover 7? Give me a half a point. Seattle minus 6.5. Do they go over 42.5? I think so, because I think Seattle's going to put up some points.
Yeah, and it is kind of weird, because I kind of fell into it too. You hear, the 49ers control their destiny. And then you're like, well, yeah, but the Seahawks also control their destiny. It's kind of like one of those things like, hey, it's more than likely just going to come down to that one game. And I see it the exact same way, Raider Jim. I'm going to buy a half a point. I'd almost want to buy a full point again, just because this year it just seems like there have been so many missed extra points. That pivot point might move from 7 to 6, at least on the betting side of things. But I'll just do a half a point for here. I think for Seattle, they know they win this, and it all sets up what needs to be done next week, and they want to be the 1 seed. For Carolina, and this is all assuming the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat Miami this weekend. But for Carolina, this game isn't, it is a big game, but more than likely next week is going to be the determination of whether or not Carolina makes the playoffs. Again, Tampa Bay goes out and they lay an egg, and Carolina goes out and they win this week. Boom, they've won the division. Great. Again, I just don't think that happens. We're not going to dive deep into the Tampa Bay-Miami game, but Tampa Bay is a road favorite there. And obviously, Seattle is a heavy favorite here. The odds do not look like we are going to see the NFC South clinch this weekend. I just think Seattle has more to play for. And the other part of it as well, I think Mike McDonald getting an extra 3 days to prepare, because the Seahawks played that Thursday. You get that kind of mini bye. I think that plays into it as well. And again, with all due respect to our friends out there in Carolina, I don't see Carolina as a huge home field advantage. I don't think there are players that are shaking in their boots. Look, DK Metcalf would still probably punch someone in the face there, but still, it's not everybody gets, mess or gets very upset at the Carolina fans or anything like that. Not a huge home field advantage there, and partly cloudy as I'm looking at the weather report there, so nothing to really worry about. I also like Seattle 6.5. I am going to go under here, though. I think Seattle's defense controls Bryce Young, and I think Seattle offensively has been, that's probably their, the one side that they need to work on. And I think they're not going to put a whole lot on film a week before possibly their biggest game. And same thing for Carolina. Both of these teams are both kind of one eye looking through to the next week. I don't know. That just kind of seems like an under for me. I think both offenses played conservative. Don't want to put too much on film for their big divisional matchups next week. So give me Seattle -6.5, under 42.5.